What is going on, everybody? Prof Jeffs here, and welcome back to another Minecraft Let's Play episode. So in this episode, we are going to be starting ourselves a new farm, and it is going to be a bee farm. So I said in the previous video that I wanted to change these lights or torches out for candles, which in order to do so, you need honeycombs, which is definitely something we want to start farming. You also get the bottles of honey from the bees as well, which is very useful for making, I think, honey blocks as well, which will be kind of cool. I'm pretty sure those are kind of like slime blocks. But let's head over to the chests over here. I have our beehives we got on our first little exploration video still here. And we are going to bring them over. So the first thing we got to do is try to come up with a way to breed the bees. I looked or I spent some time playing around in creative trying to find a nice method on how to do a bee farm, and it's actually relatively simple. Um, the hardest part about doing a bee farm is actually getting the bees to do it. So I think I'm going to clear out a bit of into here. So we're just below the village. It's just over here. We'll kind of clear into here, and we can start setting up. This is where the bee farm's going to be. But like I was saying, we do need to find a way to start breeding the bees. And I think under here there's a cave, or at least under. So I'm gonna build a layer under here that we're gonna have some a breeding room, and we'll have the bees come up, and then eventually populate the beehives, because it's a lot easier to do in creative because you have the eggs. But when building this farm in survival, we're gonna have to come up with a method in order to breed the bees, so we can fill the farm with the bees instead of actually just doing that. I could go around to a bunch of beehives and break them with silk touch, and honestly, I'll probably do that for a couple to get started. We do have these two right here, but I also do need a bit more beehives, because until we start getting honey as well, we can't act. Or sorry, these are bees' nests. I must apologize. Uh, Beehives are what we want as well. They're the crafted versions of bees' nests. Um, they they you need honeycombs to make them, which we get from the bees. So we'll have to get a little set up, and we'll have to continue to build it as we go. But I'm gonna work away here. We'll get us a little setup, a little space dug out, and then I'll come back to you guys for setup. So I've cleared out a bit of space now, and we're going to start building this little section. So there will be a layer of grass in front right here for, actually there won't be one here, but this is going to be where we're going to have our flowers growing so that the bees can produce pollen. That way they can actually make honey. Without that, they wouldn't make any honey. Um, and then, so I'm just going to be setting up one of these little sections, since we don't have the beehives or the bees to set up the full thing right now. And then we'll work on breeding the bees and getting more beehives. Okay, so to start out, we're gonna set up our hopper facing that way. We're gonna have pretty much a hopper chain going down this way and that way, all coming into the end in one at the end. But we're just again starting out with the one. We're gonna want to put our flower here. We're gonna put some glass here, and then we want glass above like that. Uh, the last thing we're going to want to place down is our beehive. We're also going to want glass there just for purposes right now. We'll have glass kind of running along, but we don't really want the bees to be getting out. And then we're also going to be putting, which I actually forgot to get, dispenser facing downwards on the beehive. That's how we're going to be harvesting the honey or the honeycombs. Okay, lucky I did have some ready. I thought I had some, and I didn't grab them. So let's head over. Okay, so we have this. Put the dropper facing downwards. Yeah, I have to do this, right? Downwards, so that is all and good. And then we'll have the beehive. Um, Now we're also going to need some blocks around the beehive. so it doesn't release the bees everywhere. And just because we're only doing the one, it's a little more, there's a little more glass needed, but yeah, then we're going to also be placing some solid blocks, which I have somewhere, some stone brick right there. And then we will be placing our beehive here. And the bees should start coming out. And then, yeah, they'll start pollinating the flower, which is good. Yeah, there he is. He'll start pollinating the flower. And yeah, that's all good. We're also going to have to set up a redstone comparator. That way, when the beehive gets honey in it, we'll be able to detect that. Throw some like this. Also going to need some slabs. So then we're going to want to place down a slab. We'll go above, do another slab, and then a full block. And then we'll get our redstone. We'll run it up this way, run it back here, and then we'll run it back to the dropper. We'll also put in a pair of shears or glass bottles in up top. Again, I don't have those ready right now. I should have some iron here. Yep, perfect. We'll make that right now. And when this bee eventually makes honey, it should get farmed and put right into the hopper, which should be nice. But I'm going to now head over and we'll start making the bee breeding system underneath this, and we'll be back when we're ready to do that. One little correction I have to add, you don't actually need the glass on the sides here like I initially thought. The bees actually can't get out through the side, so that will save us a bit. But yeah, this is slowly gonna work. I think there's only one bee in this hive, so it's not gonna be that efficient. But we'll start working on the under layer, and we'll start breeding the bees. As you can see, the hive is full, so let's put the shears in and see what we can get. I really don't know what happened to my previous shears, but throw them in there, and it should. Actually, I think it actually has to be a solid block above here. I'm confused why this is not working. So I made one really huge mistake with this farm, and that is I accidentally used a dropper here. It's supposed to be a dispenser. You put the shears in, and then now it should properly work. There we go. We got our honeycombs. So it should... Oops. Okay, well, let's go. So yeah, it should detect when it happens next. Down here we have a little section. This is what I dug out. This is going to be our Beetopia. So I still have a bit of work to do. I wasn't meant to showing you guys just yet, but as I fell down here, I decided to just let you guys know. So the plan for this is I'm going to have this room as like a bee breeding ground. And I was playing around with the reason I had this hole here with just like sending them up. But I also realized there's just so much easier method of doing this. I'm just going to create a room, have a bunch of hives down to have bees, and then I'm going to, at nighttime, the bees are going to go in the hives, and I'll just move the hives up. It's so much easier. And now that we have that honeycomb starting to generate, we'll be able to make some hives of our own. It is finally time to begin the bee process. So we have 4 nests right now. So we'll put one down here, one down here, one down here, and we'll put the other one down over here. We have a bunch of flowers, so we should be able to start breeding a bunch of them. Seems like not too many of them are out of their hives just yet. There should be more coming. Like that one, I think. And there we go. So begins the breeding. We also can get more flowers by bone mealing, which is really nice. And we have that auto bone meal generator at our base, the super low-tech one, which has been feeding us bone meal for pretty much the whole Let's Play. And we now have a reason for it, so that's really awesome. We can try to speed up the baby's growth a little bit with these flowers. That way we can start moving some of them up. I also do have to go craft some of the hives, so let's go do that now. And I'll show you guys the exit. So I got a super secure setup. We're making sure none of these bees get out. And if they get past one of the barriers, we'll make sure they don't get past another. Okay, so there are 2 bees in there. Wonder if I could breed them. Wonder if there's an easy way. Okay, so for the beehive, so these are the craftable beehives. You can use any oak planks, and so, or any planks, sorry, not oak, any planks. So I'm using oak, and you use 3 honeycombs, and that makes a beehive. These act pretty much identical to the bees' nests. They just are craftable, which is really good, seeing as you don't have to farm up the hives. And we'll throw it down and we can start hopefully filling this up. I don't really have an effective way to fill it up. Actually, now that I'm thinking of it, I can use these little rooms as I can put the hive that we're going to want to fill up in here. Lure the 3 bees, I think is max 3 or 4. And then we'll do it like that. So I'll look into stuff like that. I'll keep breeding the bees a bit, and we'll keep checking on our guy up high. That way we can keep hopefully getting honeycombs. And we'll be back once we actually, before we go, let's just grab the stained glass and let's just start building this up. So we're gonna want glass all around here. I wonder, do I have? No. I need a piece of grass again. Do that. Okay, so we need glass all along here. Glass all along here. So again, this is just all this is going to be eventually will be like this. I'll get pretty much everything in except for the beehives. We also do need to clear out here. We'll also be incorporating some bees nests in here, but we'll probably use mostly beehives in the farm just to keep it uniform. Because I feel like that looks the best for the most part. That's why I wanted to use glass as well, because that way we'll be able to see into the farm, and it should look pretty cool, I hope. Now we need 2 hopper chains that lead to the middle here, so I'll do that. Or breeding. I was also thinking I should actually put down flowers here so they do start pollinating their prospective homes. Nothing more tedious than making dispensers. Make 5 more beehives, so that's awesome. So let's head down and see what the bees are up to. I think a bunch of them. Yeah, so it looks like we have honey in a lot of them. So I don't know how many bees are in these right now, but I'm going to pick up all the hives here, and we are going to add down 5 new ones. And there. And then we are also going to breed the bees again, which, as you guys can see, there's only a couple here, which is actually a really good sign. That means the rest of the bees are inside. I didn't happen to check if it was getting nighttime, but usually this is a fairly good sign. I've taken away a bunch of the glass as well. That way we'll be able to actually do this. So I need to get some of that glass back. We need to place the glass like this. and then we'll place. So it is turning night, which is perfect. This is the exact time we want to place these down. Oh yeah. Okay. So this is the only problem. I remember I said I didn't want to be using the bees' nests. I wanted to be using the beehives. Okay, so all the bees should be out of the bees' nests and into these beehives. There might be a couple still left in them. I'm not entirely sure, but that's all right because they'll be kind of kept as a spare for a backup in case we need anything. I also did put in one of the bees' nests in here. However, I didn't really cover it up properly, so the bees are kind of flying around. I'm really hoping they're going to go back at night, and then I'll just close it off again. Um, but yeah, this is coming along now. We just gotta wait patiently for the more honeycombs to come, and while we breed the bees. But I can also do this if I get a campfire. I should be able to get the honeycombs from these nests that we have. So with a campfire, we're able to place the bees' nests on like that, and we are able to harvest the honey ourselves now that the hive is dormant. You should just be able to click on it like that. And there are 2 bees. Kind of was hoping they wouldn't leave the hive, but I guess it took us a second to get the shears made up. And I think this is the last one. Okay, so that's pretty solid. Yeah, so that's how you can harvest the honey yourself. We have honeycombs, and we can start putting some more of the beehives into our build. So we now have a little section fully set up, and I'll show you guys how it's working. So you could hear that noise. That was the dispenser using the shears. And if we go all the way down to the end, there will be some honeycombs, which is super awesome. We're going to start having a solid supply of those now. And we'll come up here and I'll show you guys the redstone. So pretty much there's a comparator there that gives it enough signal when there is honeycomb in it that it sends a signal just large enough so it makes it to the dispenser. That triggers the dispenser and causes the shears to activate, or bottles if you have it in it, it will work the same way. And then you have it so it pulls it out on the bottom by another dispenser and just goes down the chain as you guys saw previously. This is the restock method. If you're using shears, you're not going to need to restock it as much, but if you are using bottles, having an auto resupply is going to be huge for this system. I think I'm going to build another one of these in the future that we're going to use bottles for. And this is just going to be the one we're going to mainly use shears in. That way, if I do want to add a fully automatic system, it can just keep sending shears every time there's one empty. But that's definitely going to be something we're going to look into in the future. For this episode, I'm just going to continue trying to fully fill up all these nests, and we'll hopefully we'll have a nice, solid farm when we get that, and I'll try to get all these dispensers full of shears, or at least have at least 3 or 4 pairs in each. And so not too much time has passed, but I just wanted to give you guys a little update because I have decided to change a little something about this build. So as you guys can see, I haven't added anything on yet because I'm still currently in the process of breeding the bees below us. However, if you guys look over here, we have already produced so many honeycombs. So I actually added some chests here, and then I still have to add one more chest here. But we're going to be adding bottles in these 8 dispensers in the corner here. We'll be taking the shears out of these ones and adding bottles as well. The only thing is that I have to go and farm more sand. I don't really have that much sand, so we're going to have to go and get a little more. That way we can get some glass. I've used a bunch in this build and also in our house when we built that last. And oh man, I can't tell you how much I actually really enjoy looking at the house. It adds a nice depth to the world, especially since I do travel a lot between the village and our home base. So, which to be honest, I at this rate, especially since elytra wings give us the mobility, I'm probably gonna connect these two bases eventually, and then it honestly like I kind of want to have paths leading everywhere, even though we kind of fly, but just to add a nice aspect. I also added this little kind of little silly way to get down to our area. I don't know if I was liked it. I was just bored and was had way too many flowers to breed bees. But yeah, this is the breeding chamber now. Hopefully there's another bee we can breed. I keep putting them down, but we have a lot of beehives in here now. I'm just gonna keep breeding them until we can get most of these full, and then once we do, we'll start moving a bunch of them up and replacing them with ones that we built. But the honeycombs are going to be nice to have a lot of. It's going to be nice to have some of the honey as well. That way we can start making honey blocks. Also, you can use honey for sugar. You can use it for food. I think you can just eat the honey in a bottle, which is pretty cool, and all kinds of stuff. I'm not 100% sure. I really hope it gives you the bottle back when you make the honey block. I don't really know if it does or not, but we'll have to see. Pretty much what I'm going to be doing is just working on this a little bit. I'm going to finish this up. We're going to add a bit of a collection system. And although I don't think I'll have all the bees in here today, I'm going to just continue working on this as much as possible to get it as functioning as possible. Because as I said, like even this one just with the one already like has 21 here, which is pretty good. So yeah, like I said, I'm just going to keep working on this. I'm going to have to get a bit more glass for some bottles and a bit more wood for some chests. Yeah, so it's definitely looking like we're not going to be finishing this in this episode at least. We're not going to get it fully up and running other than well, it is fully up and running other than the beehives, but they are taking long. I think I'm getting close to the next batch coming up and I probably have about 10 or 12. So let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. That would only really get me to here, and then we got all the way here to go. So yeah, this is going to take a while to do. I'll definitely be farming it and try to get it up and running for sure for the next episode, and I'll show you guys it at the start. But we got some bottles in here. Oh, add 2 extra bottles in there. Perfect. So we'll throw that in there. Yeah, I have some dispensers now filled with bottles, and then we have our resupply here. We also have our chest, and like look at all the honeycombs we've been getting. It's actually insane. But before we end the episode, we actually gotta go do something that we've been the whole point of this project. So I'll meet you guys at the house. So let us begin the craft. So I have a stack of string here, stack of honeycombs, and there we are, 64 candles. So let's actually grab some blocks. I'm going to do a bit of breaking just to get us up. And let's finish our chandelier. I might expand this down and add another layer to it as well. I was kind of just waiting to get the candles. Kind of looks strange. How do you... I need a flint and steel to light them, I'm guessing then. But I don't think they go out, so... Is it always a small one for the third one? That's kind of cool. Okay, perfect. I'll grab a flint and steel, and I'll be right back. Okay, and I'm actually going to add the max candles to each one of these if I can. And let's light them. Ooh. Okay. You always gotta be careful with fire and wood, so I'm gonna monitor this definitely closely after for a bit after. But and what perfect timing, it is now nighttime. And that's nice. So guys, that's gonna be it for this video. Hopefully everyone did enjoy. If you did enjoy, make sure to hit that like button. It really supports the channel. And if you are new, subscribe. And if you guys can, share the video with your friends so we can grow the community. And I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good day.